When there's an emergency, they're among the first to arrive, and their care can determine whether a person will live or die.
But in Hidalgo County, a company's level of care comes into question, along with allegations that patient lives are at risk.
Action 4's Rafael Carranza has been investigating the story for months now. He's live in our studio now with more. Rafael.
For many households and workplaces, this is mandatory, a first aid kit with basic necessities like Band-Aids. Likewise, in a car crash or heart attack, the state requires ambulances to have the basics to treat patients in emergencies. But as employees and state records tell us, that's not the case at ProMedic EMS.
I think the citizens of Hidalgo deserve a better service than what we're providing.
It's March 2009. An ambulance from ProMedic EMS arrives at the home of a 41-year-old pregnant woman bleeding and in pain. Her identity and contact information protected by HIPAA rules. On board, the woman requests paramedics to take her to Doctors Hospital at Renaissance, where her obstetrician is waiting. But instead, they take her here, McAllen Medical Center, without properly notifying the staff. With her doctor elsewhere, the woman's husband meets her at the emergency entrance of the hospital and drives his wife in his own car to DHR in Edinburgh. The state quickly launched an investigation. They slapped ProMedic EMS a $7,500 fine after they determined the company had violated several state rules. But the state violations didn't stop there. Action 4 News obtained these documents, hundreds of pages, documenting the lack of preparation and lack of resources. In the past 3 years alone, Alamo-based ProMedic EMS has been the target of 5 state investigations. During that time, the Texas State Department of Health Services fined ProMedic EMS a whopping $47,000 in fines for various violations, including providing questionable care and not having the proper equipment inside ambulances to provide that care. Employees say those two issues are dependent on each other.
I feel like I'm useless. Without the equipment that we need, we're basically useless.
Joe has worked for ProMedic for several years. He says the ambulances he uses are nowhere near meeting state standards. He provided us with pictures showing broken doors, even expired tags. The list doesn't end there.
Air conditioning, the lights, emergency lights, on occasions they work. Most of the times they don't. Sirens don't work, blinkers don't work.
The state inspection reports show more serious health violations, missing needles and injections, even empty oxygen tanks. Do you feel, in your opinion, that patients' health has been compromised because of these lack of resources?
Definitely, on several occasions.
My name is Rafael. I'm a reporter with Channel 4.
Okay, we don't accept any here.
We took our concerns to ProMedic EMS in Alamo. Is Mr. Flores here? Can you tell me where I can find him? Okay. Do you know when he'll be back? The paramedic supervisor on duty refused to speak to us on camera. We asked to speak with ProMedic EMS owner Jesus Flores. So can I speak to that person?
They're not here right now.
Numerous other attempts to reach him or company management proved useless. Joe hopes the situation gets better before any lives are lost. He's considering other work options, but admits it's challenging right now.
If I lose my job and this story helps the company in any way, I think it was well worth it.
But perhaps the biggest challenge is for the Texas Department of State Health Services. ProMedic is one of 60 EMS companies operating in Hidalgo County alone. By comparison, Cameron and Starr counties have 6 each, and Willacy County 2. With over 5,000 ambulances statewide and only 32 inspectors, the state admits catching all the problems is tough. But their goal is to avoid costly mistakes that can jeopardize a person's well-being. Now, out of the 5 investigations, ProMedic EMS appealed the results from 4 of them, but the state ordered them to pay $26,000 in fines. So far, ProMedic has paid off nearly $24,000. Their last payment to the state will be on November 15th. However, there is still that 5th investigation, and the $15,000 in fines still pending. Marcy, Ryan?
Well, what does the state have to say, and how is the company still even allowed to operate, Rafael?
Well, Marcy, when we spoke to the Texas Department of State Health Services, they pointed out that since the start of the year, ProMedic EMS has been under new management. They say they've seen some improvements, but add that there's still more to do. Now, for this fifth investigation, they say that they could take even tougher actions, such as suspending or revoking the company's license. Back to you.